Welcome to Violin Adventures number 286. And yes, it is an adventure. So I'll give you an update on just the progress. And then I wanted to share with you some of the wonderful things that have been happening. Here we go. So things are looking up. The firemen told us that we could put all our stuff out there and they would eventually pick it up. So that is all the cabinets that were basically destroyed with the water, and then lots of the drawers were stuck, so we had to kind of break them open to get the tools out. And then over here, you can see they've left all the walling. So let's go into the shop and see what it looks like now. So here you can see the floor is much cleaner. This is the shop. All the walls are down. The furniture here that's sitting here is stuff that was, well, some of it is stuff from the other rooms. It's just they moved everything to the middle here so they could get at the walls. So this was the wood room. I actually think this looks better than than with drywall up there. You can see all the way through. And we found this basically a hidden room down here. This was behind the wall. And look in here, it's a big room, but there's water, about 6 inches of water down there. Okay, going this way, let's walk around. This was where all the benches were, and it's just good to see all the drywall off. I really like that. And they're in the middle, so this was Team Rubicon, which comes in after a disaster, and they help tear out all the bad stuff. So over here, they haven't got to these rooms yet, but there's our machine room. But it's smelling better now, and just a relief to see all of this take place. I'm just so grateful for all the help. This was the candle room, and this room had a real problem with water coming in. You can see here, the water came all the way up there, all the way up in the wall. So this needed to happen. So I want to share with you all some of the great things that have been happening as we go through this. Okay, you guys, I don't have the stand that I put the video camera on, so I have you perched on a lamp. So I'll catch you if you start falling. But I just finished up a couple days of, well, last week was rescuing anything we could rescue, throwing it into boxes and getting out everything we could get out. And that was good. And now this week is going through things that we've rescued and taking a second look. Does it get dumped or what? So Ian and I went through the garage where we put tools are just scattered in boxes because we had to move fast, and we're de-rusting those now. And our cello professor took some and scrubbed them clean, so the rust is gone. A family just left here who came by and took out, it's got to be maybe 30 bags of garbage. I threw away everything that started to mold. So all the cases that are starting to mold are gone. And all the supplies, violin supplies, cello supplies that start to mold, I threw them out. So this is what I've been doing now, is going through the things we've rescued and sorting it. So I'll take you on a little tour downstairs so you can see the progress. And I'm feeling much better. The house doesn't smell anymore. we've had a lot of good progress this week. Part of the progress is this door that we just got put in, so we can close off the basement just like that. It's beautiful and really grateful for it. Here we've got all the garbage cleaned out, so we just have the basics left over here. I was able to save all my wax, of course, because it doesn't mold. This room here was the wax room. It's all cleaned out. It looks really good. Here's our machine room. Actually, you guys, this is the only time you can walk through walls. But this is the machine room. This is probably the biggest job left is, let me show you the rust. Everything is just orange with rust. So that's the next thing, is cleaning up the machines. Here, Ian has been working today on this. He got this one all cleaned up. And he started on this one. It's just absolutely great. Here, you remember this room was the room with all the cases. Most of those cases are gone. They were starting to mold. And so this room is pretty much cleaned up. We had a bathroom there that is a wreck, but that was easy to clean. And let's see what else. This room here just has some more work to do on it, and it should be good. And then this was another bathroom. All that's left in there is the loo right there. Anyway, we're walking through walls in this tour, so I can go right back around here. This was the wood room. It's all cleaned out. So I'm going to go back upstairs, and I want to share with you some of the great things that have happened that have been so encouraging when you're going through a hard time.
Wow!
Yeah, isn't that a lot?
That is astonishing.
So a family came by today and just helped me empty all of this stuff out of the basement. That was a big help. I'm up here in the showroom, and we've had a really good 2 weeks. I wanted to share with you some of the blessings every day. Every day there was some blessing or multiple blessings that just made the sun shine on the situation. So I wanted to share with you some of them, and I'm sure I've forgotten some. But last week we were in crisis situation because all you're doing is grabbing things and trying to rescue what you can. And this week was more of rescuing what we rescued. So we got through the downstairs, and we got through the shop, and cleaned out bags and bags and bags of just stuff that's molding or destroyed. So that's cleaned up. We still have to go through the garage. We put everything that was valuable or that we could try to save in the garage, and we still have to get through that. But I want to share with you some of the blessings that happened starting on day 1 with the flood. After the water receded, there were a few things I had forgotten. I had forgotten my new violin that I was working on, and I had just bought some bows and some other pieces. And I had remembered them after it was too late. While the water receded, I go down there, and there they are sitting on the table. The tables that had been lifted up. The stuff that I needed to save was still on the table. So that was a miracle, because the tables weren't level. They had stuff on them. And so that was God that saved those things. That was the first day. Also, we had the church jumped right in and started helping us right on those first days when you don't really know what to do. I had family fly out from California and North Carolina, and not only were they a huge help, but they were that moral support too. So I just thank God for everybody that jumped in when you don't I didn't really know what to do next. Then little things as we're going through and we're exhausted, and we had filled up the plastic totes that we had, and of course we were just beginning, and Brother Dustin had been coming over, really helping, also the pastor's family, really helping with clean out, when he came by one morning and somebody had put totes out on his way, so he picked those up. I filled them up immediately, and it was the afternoon. I just sat down. What do I do now? There was a knock at the door. Somebody I don't know was driving by trying to help, and they dropped off a whole bunch of plastic totes. She said, "Could you use some plastic totes?" And I said, "Yes." I mean, I had just sat down, and she came to the door with more. Just little miracles like that are just what help keep it going. Oh, also, we had a couple men from the church and come by, and one was Shane Whitaker, who's a plumber, and our water heater had gone out, and he was able to install it for us, and we are so grateful for that, so that within a week we were able to get hot water again. And now, on top of all of this, every single day, the church had people coming to bring lunch and dinner. And that was a huge help, because you don't really have time to think about eating or time to prepare meals. And so many people from the church came by, which we're really grateful. And just seeing other faces is an encouragement too. Then, this was before July 4th, and I had wanted to do something special, being the 250th year. But after this flood, I thought, no, you can't do anything special. You've got to, do this, take care of this problem. Well, somebody put a note in our mailbox, and they didn't say who they were. They just said, from a neighbor to a neighbor. And they said, do something special for July 4th, and gave us some cash. That was such a huge encouragement, and it came right when we're in the midst of everything. Then, after all the help from family and friends, and also the Alex Meyer family would come by, after we had pretty much gotten everything up and things rescued that could be rescued, up to the door came a group of people called Team Rubicon, and they do disaster relief wherever it is. I guess they started in other countries, and they just come where there's a disaster, and they help tear out. They just help where they can, and they're just volunteers. So they asked if they could come in and tear down the wall boards at no cost. So it was like the timing was just perfect. That was the next thing that we needed to do, and the smell was getting pretty bad in the house. So they came in, and in a day and a half, all those walls were torn down and taken out. People also donated fans and dehumidifiers for down there. So actually now I don't smell anything, and all the garbage is out down there. I mean, we're just so grateful, and to see how God moves people one right after another. The timing is so perfect. As I was editing this and talking about perfect timing, and this is so hard because I don't want to forget anybody, but God knows who you are. And there's so much that has happened, but I just wanted to mention when the church came by the first couple of days, Faith Baptist Church, and helped just get stuff up and cleared out and brought outside, and just all the heavy labor for the first 2 days. And then the third day, the ladies of the church came through. This was just perfect, and picking through the mud, tried to rescue little pieces and parts and all the stuff scattered on the floor in the mud. And I'm so grateful for that too. But back to my story. Okay, so after Team Rubicon came out, then a fellow in our church named Chad, who has a contracting business, he came down and they installed a door for us so that we could close off the basement. And beautiful work, beautiful work. In the middle of this, because at times you just wonder what is going on and why did this happen, but you feel God's hand in everything. Well, right out of the blue, I got a call from Intercessors of America, and they just asked, do you have any prayer requests? And I said yes. I told them we were involved in a flood and I lost my shop, and that we're looking for a new home. So right there on the phone, she prayed for us. So that was an encouragement. I also heard from, and then different people have come by who've been involved in floods and helped me know what to get rid of, and that was a big help. And also have bought supplies. There's also a church here that on Tate's Creek, which is the cross street here, and a lot of damage was done on that street, and they even lost someone in their church. The name of the church is Antioch Christian Church. Well, they've come by a couple times and just given us supplies, so that's been an encouragement. And then of course, all the encouragement of you all from your comments and emails. Thank you. Just to read those is an encouragement. Know that there's people out there praying for us. And just this morning, we have another flood watch warning, and we don't know how bad it'll be, but already I can feel the prayers of people. Everyone involved knows the devastation that this last flood caused, and so far the storm hasn't come in. It was supposed to come in last night and hasn't come in yet, so I know that's God holding it off. But we are prepared. We put the flood barrier back up and got the sub pump back on, and we know that God helped us do that because we were missing a piece that we thought had just floated away or been trashed. And I just walk out there and my eye goes right to the mud. There was the piece sticking up, and that was God, because I didn't have to look, and God opened my eyes to see that piece so we could put the barrier up. So I mean, through all your prayers, God is really working, and we see little miracles every day. I shouldn't say little. I just see God's hand in everything, and that's what keeps me going. And I want to thank everyone for your prayers. I don't dare try to name all the names of all the families who have come to help in some way or other. Every little bit really helps, and I just thank God, and I thank all of you for all your prayers and all your support and all just being there. And God knows who all of you are who've helped out, because I can't thank you enough. So I just wanted to come out here and show you what is in store probably for next week. We have all these tools, hand tools, that were rusty, so they're soaking, and we'll hope to clean those up. And then here in the garage is everything that we rescued as fast as we could and put it up here. So we'll need to go through this. Well, we've got some beautiful flowers coming out here, and we still need to look for a new shop and a new home, so we're on the lookout. And just a note, the stories we were reading about Iris Sankey, those books were completely ruined. So there'll be no more stories, but at this point, there's plenty of life stories going on. With God, nothing is impossible. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time, Lord willing. Bye.